In 2005, there were three friends working together at PayPal, and at this time, the company was being bought out by eBay. So that led them to make a decision. Do we stay on the path that we're on, or do we take everything that we've learned, our experiences, our wisdoms, our failures, our successes, and make something from it? And let me tell you, that led to one of the greatest brainstorm sessions of that year, because the idea that they created would not only change their lives, it would change the world's. But more on that in just a little bit. Because 5 years later, I would find myself in a similar situation. I was approaching the end of my freshman year of high school, and being 15 years old, I began to understand one of the most valuable things in life, and that is time. You see, I've been playing basketball since I was in middle school. By the way, I'm 6'5", meaning I was the tall kid then. I'm still the tall kid now. My wife actually says that I live at a different altitude. The problem that I faced was that my heart wasn't in it. And that led to me questioning, do I want to continue to spend the rest of my high school years on basketball? And after thinking it through, talking with my parents, I went and spoke with my coach. And thankfully, he was very understanding because I decided it was time to quit basketball. That day, I chose to stop spending time on something that I didn't see worth it. And I was able to focus on what I truly loved to do, which was to make videos. And later that year in December, I created this YouTube channel. Hey, I'm Tucker, and not only have I been making videos for YouTube for over 16 years, I've also been on this platform watching different creators, learning how to not only sharpen my craft to get better at it, but also to improve myself so that I can serve others better. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 tips that I've learned after 16 years of being a creator and how YouTube has been changing my life since 2007. Oh, and by the way, the third tip that I'm going to share with you was something I completely missed until I had rewritten this script 3 to 4 times. And then I was like, wow, that's the most valuable lesson. And it's been right in front of my face this whole time. But I believe the best way to help you understand where I'm coming from before I share these tips is to go back to the beginning. So in 1995, too far back. It was 2004. I was a 9-year-old kid. There were 3 things that changed my life. The first was that my parents set my brother and I down and told us that they were getting a divorce. The second was that the greatest superhero movie of all time came out. And the third was that I was introduced to my first camera. And I don't know how, but I believe each of those played an important role that would fit into one another. And so what I began to understand is that I could take how I feel and what I was going through, and by using a camera, be able to tell a story and help someone see from my shoes. And so 3 years later, it was 2007, and I created my very first YouTube channel. My dad bought me my first camera, and I just started making all kinds of videos. Made a few cartoons, some were inspirational. I did make a music video, even created my own superhero, which was a total ripoff of the story of Spider-Man. Who would have thought? Then I discovered a YouTube channel called Balloon Shop, which was a group of friends that made hilarious skits. And so my friends and I tried to do that, and we started making our own videos similar to them. We would hang out, come up with an idea, and then go shoot it. I'd go home and edit it and release it. And nobody watched them except for us, really. But it was so much fun. And then in 2012, we were at lunch, and one of my friends asked us a question. He said, why don't we make a movie? And a light went off, and I remembered, hey, the people that own the movie theater actually live in the same neighborhood as me. And so I sent him a Facebook message and asked, hey, if we make a full-length movie and you all watch it and approve it, could we put it in theaters? And they said yes. And 9 months later, our movie that we called Reflections released into 2 local movie theaters. It was so cool. And so when the time came to graduate, I knew that I wanted to tell stories for the rest of my life. And over the next 4 years, I would study video and film production in college. Throughout all that, I was doing a lot of freelance work, filming a lot of weddings, to client videos such as State Farm, Remax. And throughout those years, I created a video series called A Little Cup of Wisdom that were almost like life lessons about what it was like to grow up. After I graduated college, I got to do one of the best things ever, which was to marry my best friend, my beautiful wife, Megan. And fast forward to today, over the last 6 years, I've been able to make a living making videos. But to be honest, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for everything that I've been learning on YouTube over the last 16 years. And the first tip that I want to share with you because of that, your creativity is a superpower. I realized as a kid that I could take a tool, whether it be a camera or a pencil, and make something that could help someone, whether that be a movie of a superhero who is struggling to decide of whether or not he wants to keep the mask on, which is teaching us that sometimes you have to hold on and be steady and do the right thing. or a cartoon about a family of blue heeler dogs reminding us of what's most important in life. Wackadoo! We have the ability to use our hands to make something that could change the world. And what YouTube has showed me is that it is full of that. For me, growing up, it was Olin Rogers who was a part of the balloon shop. And he truly inspired me because the way he was able to tell a story, the way he used his camera, I didn't know how to describe it then, but his cinematography, the way he edited, how he used music, all of that impacted me. Today, my son and I love watching The Outdoor Boys, which is a YouTube channel about a dad who takes his sons camping and all the different skills that you could learn from camping. Another channel I love to watch is two guys named Colin and Samir, and they interview creators and find out their coming of age story, what they've learned, how they got there. What's so neat about it is that I can learn from each of these creators and think, okay, how can I use this and make something of my own? I love that about YouTube because it shows me that creativity is endless. If you don't know how to do something, well, that leads to my second tip. From being on YouTube, I've learned that education is outside of the classroom. For example, when I was in the last 2 years of college, I was able to take classes that were going towards my major, which is video and film production. And in one of those classes, my professor was teaching us how to edit, how to cut and splice a video into two, and then add an intro and maybe even a fade in. And I was so bored, not because I didn't respect the class, but because I had been doing that since 2007 when I was 12 years old. How I was able to do that was by watching YouTube videos. When I made my first video and I didn't know how to clone myself, I looked up a video, how to clone yourself. There's so much you can learn inside a classroom, but I personally believe if you stay curious and ask questions about anything, there is so much to learn past the classroom. And since 2007 and watching videos on this platform, it has helped me learn these skills: filmmaking, editing, script writing, freelancing, marketing, starting an online business, social media strategy, graphic design, apparel, physical products, digital products, and an online course. I believe one of the coolest things about the time that we live in right now is that we get to be a sponge. For example, when I was 12, I didn't know how to edit, so I watched a video. When we wanted to make our movie, we didn't know how to do that, so I watched some videos. If I didn't know how to shoot a wedding or film an interview, you look up a video on YouTube. Hey, this is how they've done it. How do I learn how to do that? And then go do it. And that leads me to the third point, that I told you that I missed something when I was putting this video together after scripting it several times. The reason I decided to make this video came from a question that I asked myself one night. I have made so many videos in my life that sometimes after a while you wonder, hey, why did I even start doing this? And that led me down the whole path of starting this video. And then I noticed a pattern. From 2007 to about 2013, I made a lot of videos for myself. From 2013, when I graduated high school, up until today, 2024. So that's 11 years. I started making less and less videos for myself and more about freelance because you're trying to make a living. And so I realized that the most valuable lesson that I've learned in the last 16 years is to never stop creating for yourself. I began to see the innocence, the fun, the love for the craft inside of those videos. It was the stories that changed your life, the ones that moved you, the ones that told you to hold on a little longer. And that is why I believe I started making videos. And I don't ever want to lose that. I don't know where you are in your journey, whether you're in the beginning, the middle, or maybe where I'm at. If there's one thing I can tell you is to not give up on yourself, to remember why you love it. The world will tell you who you should be and what you should think, but don't let them. Hold on to your creativity because it is yours. At the beginning of this video, I told you about 3 friends back in 2005 who were working at PayPal, and because it's being bought out by eBay, they decided to create something. And their idea did change the world because it changed mine. And because you're watching this, it changed yours too. You see, these 3 friends launched something called YouTube in 2005. I'm sure they're looking back now thinking, wow, what if we didn't do that? What would have happened if we would have just stayed there? If they hadn't have taken the shot, I don't know where I'd be. But they did. What I've learned after 16 years of being on YouTube is that creativity is endless and it is at your fingertips. All you have to do is do it. learn it, fail at it, try again, fail some more, try it again, and it'll keep getting better and better. For example, learning graphic design allowed me to make t-shirts and then put them on my online store and sell them. And after doing that for 2 years, I've discovered 10 things. And if you're thinking about doing this, I hope this video can help you. Nooks.